Hi guys, in this tutorial, I will do a short overview of SelfCAD. It's a browser-based app, and it's great for simple and fast modeling and for preparing objects for 3D printing. The workspace is a cube with 6 planes. You can adjust these in View, Workspace Settings. There's also camera settings here and reference image. Using your mouse, you can do all the camera transformations without switching between camera modes. Hold mouse left button and drag the mouse to rotate the camera. Hold the mouse wheel to pan the camera and scroll the wheel to zoom in and out. In the camera section, you can also switch to different camera modes. And right now it's in rotation, and I recommend leaving it that way and using scroll for other modes. There's also an option to reset the camera and focus the camera. You can see the Basic Shapes panel near the top right corner. Drag these icons to add the basic shapes to the scene with default settings and click them to open the panel with the detailed settings at the left sidebar to create a configured basic shape. In the Scene panel, you can manage your objects. For example, you can select them by checking the checkboxes, hide and lock the objects so that you can't change them. You can also select an object simply by clicking on it. Set the position and size. And in the Statistics panel, you can see the number of polygon, edges, and vertices. You can also change the name of the object and filter objects by name. There are 3 object view modes: Mesh, Wireframe, and Mesh plus Wireframe. The next section is Transformations. Currently, they're not available because no object is selected, so again, I select an object by left-clicking on it, or I can right-click and drag to select. If an object is already selected, the right-click and drag will select polygons. Now I can turn on Move. To move the object, I can use gizmos in Origin Settings, and I can also change the gizmo's position or simply type in the values into checkboxes. The next transformation is Scale, and again, I can use gizmos or type in values. To undo, press Ctrl-Z. Rotation is very similar to Move, and you can position the gizmos. Inside of the circle, the step will be 22.5 degrees, and if you move the cursor further from the shape, it will be 1 degree. Then we have Create. The first one is Drawing. Basically, it turns your 2D sketch into a 3D shape. Then we have Generators: Screw Generator, Spiral Generator, and Shape Generator. Here's how it works. You have segments, and you can set its size and number of edges, etc. And then you can add other segments, and when you're done, click Finalize. Then there's a spline drawing, and it's basically like drawing with a tube. You can also use objects on the scene as references, and create interesting shapes that way. The next section is Region Selection. Again, it works only if you have a shape selected. In Brush Selection, if you have an exact selection on, it will cut the polygon, and if you have it off, like I do, it will select the entire polygon where you had your brush. Cube Selection also has an option, Exact Selection, and you can simply use the gizmos to make the selection. Find Polygons lets you select the polygons by left-clicking on them, and Inverse Selection. Next is Advanced Transformations, and the first one is Align. You can either align the object to the grid or to another object. The Resolution tool lets you increase the number of triangles used to form each side of the object. So if I make it 4, you can see that the structure has a higher resolution now. If I make it 0, it will go back to the previous resolution. Then we have Skew, Taper, which changes the ratio of top and bottom, and Twist. Twist and bend work best when an object has a lot of polygons or triangles. Otherwise, it will simply break the shape. To show tools, I will take 2 cubes. Extrusion can be used on the entire shape or on selected polygons. Simply left-click and drag, or set the slider and click Apply. Add volume is changing the wall thickness. It will work only if an object has at least one hole at its sides. So I'll delete one polygon and add volume. Then we have 4 Boolean operations: union, exclusion, intersection, and difference. I will use difference to exclude the green cube from the red cube. In the drop-down, select an object to exclude, and if I turn on Keep Original Object, I will keep the current objects and the new one will be added on top. Next, we have round corners. It smooths the corners of the shape. Again, it has a smoothness slider setting and Keep Original Switcher. Using bevel, you can smooth one edge or all edges. It has multiple settings like edge and intensity, as well as hole filling. Having fill holes off on a sphere, for example, can give you very interesting results. Magic Fix changes the structure of the object, fills holes, and smooths the edges. It's very good for 3D printing. The next tool is sculpting. Sculpting is like a separate section itself and has its own tools. It allows you to sculpt on the shape and change its structures. Also, SelfCAD has options import, export options, and you can save on the cloud and load from there. There's also Object History panel, where you can see your changes, other settings, and Slicer. To go to the Slicer, I need to select an object and go File, Print. Slicer has a few profiles for printers, so you can simply select your printer from the list. You can copy a profile and then you'll see all the settings. You can change them and then save the new profile. You can change it, save, or delete, and also there's an option Import Profile if you have a saved profile. This slicer has an arc optimization. Basically, arcs and circles wouldn't be split into segments. Also, there are settings for support structure and platform adhesions like skirt, etc. After you set all the settings, click Start Slicing. When the shape is sliced, you can see the layers. Here are the explanations of the colors: skin, infill, support, and skirt. If you have arcs, you will have the printing numbers here and number of meters of plastic. You can connect to the printer using Wi-Fi or direct connections, or simply download the G-code to the flash drive. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.